Thank you, students. Thank you, fans. Man, great crowd, great energy. We felt it. If a team needed a win worse than that group, I don't know. I don't know what team that is, but that's that's a month worth of grinding it out and close but not there. And we finally got it all to click. One game wasn't perfect. Still had a couple mistakes that could have been really really costly, but to get a win against that team and the environment that was in, that's a huge step in the right direction. So, those that hadn't given up on us, thank you very much for helping us. We're not doing it alone. So, very very proud of the guys. I've told them all week that the approach of them coming to work every day is paying off. I know it doesn't show on the win loss column like we'd like. We've been getting better and still kind of getting out of our own way a little bit. And I told them tonight was the night it was going to click, and I believed it. Still got to go out and do it, and they did. We played really well in all three phases, did a lot of things extremely well, and with the exception of just a couple mistakes along the way, played about as good as we could, and Air Force made it really difficult because we did not get the ball very much, and they did a great job with the clock. Came up with a big play when we had to, and we were able to run the ball well when we needed to. Very balanced tonight. And that's what we got to see every week. That's really what we got to see every week. We got to build on that. So, what questions do you have?
The coach obviously had a lot of turnovers the last few games. Today you had the one interception in kind of game and a half. But how big was it to have a game when you had so few turnovers, basically 0 turnovers?
Yeah, I mean that's supposed that and penalties have been what plagued us. I feel like we'd have a couple more in the win column if we could stay away from that. And for whatever reason, they've come in bunches, and it's not been one particular thing. It's been a little bit of everything that's been causing it. So it was our big emphasis this week. Talked to Coop about throwing the ball away and protecting the ball. I really honestly wish we hadn't thrown the pick right before the half. I'd love to see us throw it away and maybe take a more calculated shot at the middle of the field. So that's one we want to learn from. But we ball security was really, really good to run the ball like we did. Basically 200 yards against a team that plays a run every single day. There wasn't another ball on the ground. And, that gives us a chance to win. I mean, it does. That's been our biggest issue is just how willing we've been to be careless with the ball up to this point. And if we'll stop turning the ball over like we did tonight, we're going to be in some games. And we, hope this will be one we can teach off of and build on.
Coach Anderson, you really bucked some important trends tonight. Air Force had really dominated teams this season in the first and third quarters. They hadn't given up a touchdown in the first quarter. They gave up no points in the third quarter. And those are kind of quarters you had struggled in at times.
Yeah.
How gratifying was it really buck those trends that made the difference in the game?
Well, to not spend all night punting against these guys is huge. We did settle for a couple of field goals, but we moved the ball fairly consistently. We had a couple penalties that got us off track that hurt us. But I mean, just from beginning to end, the most balanced and collected looking offense that we've had all season. We spread the ball around. We obviously Coop did a good job with his feet. We looked like a team that's starting to figure some things out. So really gratifying to play well in all three phases, which I think we did. I think all three phases contributed in some way. There wasn't that big signature play on special teams, but we did play well. We covered well. And we, when you got to punt the ball and they're bringing it at you, you still get it out. So kicking field goals, I mean, everything mattered tonight. So I think it's our best collective game. We had our best collective half a week ago, and we built on it. We put 4 quarters together. So, I mean, hopefully that's signs of great, really good things to come in the future.
You talked before about how you've had teams before like this that have struggled at the beginning of the year and they turn it around. I'm curious what this performance can do for you guys as coaches, being able to coach this team. What does it do for the team's psyche, just seeing their work pay off on the field itself?
Well, they've been working the same all year, and it just hasn't quite translated to the field like you would want. And you get to a point where you're like, we're fragile, man. This thing could go south real quick if we don't see some fruit from the labor and the sacrifice. This week particularly was one of the best weeks of practice we've had, and you wanted desperately for it to show on the field, and you want it to not just show but also get the win. I mean, that ultimately you can only take getting close so often, and I felt like that's what last week was. And this could be huge. This could be the catalyst for a ton of positive moving forward, because it did validate all the things that we've been telling them, all the work, all the sacrifice, all the unselfish behavior, the extra time, the taking your role, even though it's not exactly what you want your role to be. This validates that this is how we get it done. This is the team we've got. This is what it's going to take. And so I'd like to think that this is going to give them the energy they need to just continue and fuel that and even dial it up another notch. And if they do, then we'll just continue to get better.
I want to ask about how the receivers have sort of responded to the challenges that I'm sure you guys have put up to them at the beginning of the season. You said that they were struggling with playing one-on-one matchups. That did not seem to be an issue here tonight, specifically by Cobb. What kind of improvement have you seen?
Well, I think you started to see it look a little bit better each week. I thought last week we made some very good contested catches. At second half of UNLV, we made some very competitive catches. And tonight, when you consider some of the ones that guys had to make, none of them easy, they're starting to gain confidence. And it's kind of the same conversation we just had. They're working extremely hard. Now they're starting to see that show up, having the confidence to elevate to a ball, having the confidence to make a play with a guy hanging on you, having the confidence to win one-on-one on 4th and 2 when the game's on the line. I mean, those come from repetition, and learning that, I can do this when it matters most. So I'm hoping again that this is something that just builds that confidence level, and we keep getting better.
With Brian specifically, eight receptions, 136 yards, and a touchdown. You mentioned on Monday the receivers on the meeting. How have you seen him specifically?
That dude's he's been a leader since day one that he got here, and he's more and more vocal, but mainly he leads by example. He does everything right. He's the first in, the last out, never on a list, always encouraging the guys around him, willing to help on special teams, willing to, if he's got to be the decoy, he's when you look at selfless, I mean, he's the epitome of what we're looking for. It's why we brought him here, and it's showing he's affecting the guys around him in a positive way every day.
Coach Anderson, I mean, been so close the previous 2 weeks, but one bugaboo was just those short yardage situations. You get the shovel pass on 4th and 4. And how much can a play like that, being successful, kind of jumpstart a season?
Well, that and again, I think the 4th and 2, the one-on-one competitive play with Kyle, those are huge. We've got to be able to, and in this game particularly, because they're going to run the clock, and you're only going to get it. I mean, we got really 2 solid drives in the first half. 2, you cannot squander opportunities, and so I think every positive play builds confidence and allows guys to potentially, go out and feel like I can do that next week when it matters most. Games are only going to get tougher as we go forward. As the conference race, you look more and more tape, more and more tendencies, more on the line. I'm hoping these are some big time snaps for guys, big time plays for guys that will pay dividends on down the road for us.
Coach, building on that, you had 3 plays over 30 yards, 2 turnovers, some explosive plays, and it seemed like for the first time this season, stringing them together. What does that do to build momentum?
Yeah, consistency's been a problem for us. We've had spurts, but not continuous. And tonight, there never was a big drop off. There were some plays that they made and some plays that we made. This was a big time college football game, and we stayed in the fight for 4 straight quarters, 60 straight minutes. We've struggled to do that at any point this season. There just always seems to be a drop off, a let up, a mistake, and we avoided that and played really well. That's why we're sitting here talking about a win instead of another close loss. So I do see us getting better every week. I'm hoping that we can just continue to build on this and keep putting wins on top of wins. That'd be a great place to be.
Coach, what does Logan Bonner mean for your team right now and their kind of resolve to turn this season around with him winning the Mountain West Championship last year? He's not on the field right now.
Yeah, I mean, the great thing about our team and the great thing about the room is, man, those guys care about each other and pull for each other. Coop's been right there doing the same thing for Logan. And Logan's sitting there doing the same. Headsets on. He's talking about things. Hey, safety's doing this. Corner's doing that. They communicate really, really well. It's like having another set of eyes, having another coach on the field. That's one of the things you love about our team is the guy's willingness to pull for the other guy. If I'm not going to make the play, man, I definitely want you to make the play. If I gotta do something difficult, if I gotta do something that's take a sacrifice for you, then so be it. And I think it shows up in that room just as much as any other.
Coach Cooper made a lot of plays with his legs and getting out to the pocket and either running or making throws. Like, how big is that for your offense? Just kind of create something out of nothing sometimes.
Yeah, it opens things up. It definitely it does. If you think back to last year, some of the big wins that we had, Logan was able to do that a few times. He doesn't look like Coop running, but he was able to extend plays and move the chains. Cooper loves to run. He's very comfortable in that setting. He's going to continue to get better. It does open up the field for us in a way that we just didn't have the ability to do with Logan being a little bit limited on his mobility. It's going to look different. We're balanced. We're using everybody. The extra set of legs was really, really helpful in some key situations. And you mentioned he just created a few times. They covered us down. They dropped people into covers and put his foot in the ground and made plays. So I got to think as a D coordinator, that makes you think about what coverages you want to play and where I want to add the extra body. Hopefully that'll be a problem for people moving forward.
Coach, there were two gutsy fourth down calls. One that the slant to Cobb and the other one the
Yeah.
to Vaughn. They hit off in a big way. Just how
Those make you old real quick. They great that they worked out. We've unfortunately missed some of those opportunities in previous weeks, but we made the plays tonight when we had to. We don't win the game without them. Can't sit there and punt or take field goals on those opportunities. We need to score. We're able to finish those drives off. So those are two of the most critical plays of the night. Guys executed really, really well. Throw and catch on the slant to Cobb, and then I thought it was a great call and really explosive play right there with the shovel underneath to Terrell. I mean, he's obviously getting more and more confident every time he touches the ball.
Coach Anderson, I mean, it really was a big deal. Last year, they had a lot of explosive plays. Take away the 40-yard pass. You made them march down the field.
Yeah.
The entire game. So how nice was it to see them just you really have to make them earn.
Yeah, I thought the defense did a phenomenal job. They're going to want a couple plays back without a doubt, and there at the end, I mean, we're at a point now where the clock's playing against them, but with the exception of the big explosive throw, it was a challenge for them all night. Now, they are bigger than us up front, and they were able to run the ball downhill at us for a while, but we eventually were able to force a huge field goal there. That I thought that was after the fake punt to be able to force a field goal. That is huge. I'm wishing I didn't call a timeout there at the end, but you got to try. The dude's a phenomenal kicker. He doesn't miss very often, so you got to try to do something to get in his head. Just so happens I called timeout at the wrong time. So I think the defense did a great job. We changed the way we played them. We adjusted some things, made it simpler, let the guys get downhill and play, and I thought we played more physical than they did.
Yeah, adding on to that, the offense did a nice job of that, nearly 200 yards rushing. How important was it to establish that?
Well, we've got to run the ball well to open up the field, and we've done it in glimpses, but not consistently. To be able to do that all night and really stay balanced and put them in a position where they have to play balanced defense. One of the issues we had in the second half the other night against BYU is they were able to drop 8 most of the night, and that's not a great environment to be. If you can't force them to commit bodies to the run game, then it's a long night. So our RPO game was good. We protected the quarterback fairly well, but we stayed ahead of the chains and stayed efficient on first down, and that is a huge part of our success offensively.
Coach, you guys had just another pivotal defensive play is Andre Grayson gets called for the pass interference, and AJ forces the fumble, and Grayson recovers.
AJ Ford, you got the fumble out? Did you? All right. Yeah. Huge play. Yeah, if you think back to last year, it's very, very similar to Justin Rice ripping the ball out. They're going down in plus territory with an opportunity to run the clock and score and make it really difficult for us. So ripping that ball out and giving us a chance to force them to take all their timeouts and really change the complexion of the game. That game's going to come down to a hands team situation where we, hopefully we can execute, and we did. I thought there may not be a bigger play than Justin McGriff securing that ball and making sure we can put our guys out there to kneel the ball. I mean, I watched Houston and Memphis last night. I know Memphis would love to be able to secure a ball on hands team, but every play was crucial in this kind of game, and I think that's what conference football ends up being. You can't miss a stride, you can't make a big mistake, and when you get a chance to make a play and rip the ball out, you got to make it happen. And our guys made the play tonight when we needed it. Thanks, guys.
How y'all doing today? How y'all doing out there? All right? Good to see y'all.
How do you feel right now?
I feel great, man. Good team win. Feel great.
Was there more emphasis on forcing turnovers today, just with the style of offense that they run? Was there more of an emphasis from Coach Bonda about forcing turnovers? Did you have it in your mind to strip that ball, or is that just kind of instinct?
It's like that every week. Every week I try to be a playmaker. Us defensive backs try to be playmakers and take the ball away. That's our job. So I mean, I came out there. We knew it was gonna be a big deal to get turnovers on Air Force. So we needed every chance we get. So I mean, it's a defensive thing, a defensive back thing. So I'm always looking forward to it.
Johnny, how much pride did you take on really making them work their way down the field this week as opposed to all the explosive plays they got last year?
We definitely was it was good for us as a defense to make them to earn everything that they got. We had a few miscommunications in the back end that gave them stuff that it was nothing that they did. It was stuff that we did, self-inflicted. But I mean, it was good to make them go down there and make them try to earn every yard they got and stand up as a defense. So that was pretty cool.
So you guys struggled to stop them kind of early in the game, which kind of the more field. In the last few drives they had, you guys pretty much stopped them for the most part. And was there an adjustment you guys made for those last few drives to come up big on those defensive possessions?
No, it was just it was an adjustment. We had to slow down and do our job. Everybody had to do a specific job. Just do your one job and everything will be all right. Tackle the dive if you got the dive and cover on the back end. And we did that and it's pretty good. Guys slowed down and did their job and tackled like we supposed to. So I mean, it's pretty good.
After you got that interception, Coach Bonda, it might have been after the fumble, Coach Bonda picked you up and patted you on the back, and just what was that feeling like? What was going through your head?
It's a great feeling when you be able to get the ball and turn it over for the offense so they can go score and get points on the board. It's going to be a good feeling, no matter if it's a jumping on a fumble recovery or punching the ball out and getting us. Anytime you get the ball and turn it over and give a chance for our offense to go score, it's always going to be a good feeling. So it was great. See a lot of guys smiling. Offense was happy, got some energy going. So it's great.
How do you feel like? I mean, with the triple option and everything, do you feel like your physicality or what was it that you think that kind of slowed that down?
What slowed down the triple option?
Yeah.
The defensive guys doing their job and being aggressive and being physical. Violence is the answer on the defensive side of the ball. And we live by that, we die by that. So, I mean, that's what it was. It's being violent, showing what it is.
Do you feel like this team is getting better week by week?
Yes, we definitely getting better. Like I said, guys is believing in the process and not giving up. When you go 1-4, 1-5, you can have a team that can fall apart. Guys stop believing and guys don't want to be here no more. But instead of that, a lot of guys kept going, kept trucking, kept believing in the process and believing in our coaches. And you got a lot of guys that just want to win, and you see it. Getting better every week, though.
Anything else for Johnny? Okay.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, Johnny. You put the ball in some good spots, but you guys were making contested catches, some Kimberly Cobbs, and that was phenomenal. How much confidence do you gain when you see your guys a battle for you like that?
I think it helps me a lot just be more comfortable, like especially just being early in my career, having depended on my legs a lot in high school, all growing up. It makes me more confident just getting the ball out to them and not freaking out so much, scrambling all the time. I know those guys will make plays, so it's really good when they make those big time catches like that. It just builds more confidence knowing I can keep targeting them, keep getting the ball out of my hands. So love it.
So Cooper, you had a couple drives in the first half, just kind of stalled, kind of deep in the red zone. Obviously, in the second half, you guys finished some of those drives and a big drive. What was the difference between some of those that stalled and the ones you finished off?
I mean, if I remember correctly, a lot of them we had penalties. So it's tough when you get second, third down and more than 10 yards. That's really tough to come back from. So it really limits the plays you can call and really limits just what we can do with the ball. So I think just at the end of the game, we started to eliminate those dumb penalties more. And so it's more second and third and manageable. There's more stuff we can call and stuff that's more built for that area of the field.
What's your chemistry like with Brian Cobbs? Do you think chemistry between the quarterback and the wide receiver matters, or is it more just he's getting?
I mean, it for sure matters, but honestly, I don't think it's as much as people make it sound like. like we have our concepts. I know they're going to get to their spots. And so really I just have to trust that they're going to be in that spot and get the ball there and know that they're going to come down with it. And a lot of times tonight they were coming down with it. So it paid off.
What's your level of confidence in yourself and this team now that you've got a couple starts under your belt?
I mean, personally, I've always had belief in my own abilities, and I feel like I just try to work as hard as I can every day, and I think the team sees that. And so I feel like they've been like, they assumed I would do good in a game. And so it's fun to finally be out here, especially at home, like go get a big win against a team like Air Force. And I think that just helps the team all come together and have belief in what the offense is doing, what the defense is doing, and all in special teams, we can all come together. So it's not just like confidence in me, it's the offense as a whole, the defense as a whole, special teams as a whole. We all know we can work together and play big games like this and win them.
How important is getting a win tonight and solidifying that confidence?
It's huge. We lose tonight, then it's like, what are we playing for? Like there's no real motivation like to go get the championship, because it feels like if we lose this one, we're kind of out of the running. So I think this one was huge. A good team like Air Force, we're still in contention to go to the championship. So I feel like this really is just getting the ball rolling, beating a team like this, and now we can go on a run. So
Yeah, just how much did you guys kind of feed off of each other there? You take the lead, the defense makes a play. You extend your lead, and the defense makes another play. And so, how much did you guys just really kind of feed off of each other?
I mean, you play a team like Air Force, you know the drives you're going to get are limited. So just trying to at least get some sort of points every drive as the offense. And then knowing that by the time you're back on the field, a lot of time's going to be off the clock. So just being ready to make the most of every drive. And then when it really mattered, the defense was coming up with some big stops. So that helped us out a ton.
Cooper, you seem to get some momentum, and I guess last week was technically your first start versus your hometown team. And so what from that do you think carried over as far as the end result? Like, do you feel like you improved this week, or what do you think led to the end result, win tonight?
So what did I take from BYU that helped me this week is what you're saying?
Yeah, do you think there's some momentum, or do you think there was just some things to improve?
I mean, I think we had some good stuff from BYU. It's hard to take momentum from a loss, but I think we saw glimpses of good things. So I think we built off of that, came into this week. I was able to just see things more clearly, I feel like, just having it be my second full game. So I think I was able to just go through what I needed to a little bit better than I did last week. And then we just never let the game get out of control. Where last week we got down by 2 scores. We were never down by more than 1 tonight. So I think just keeping the game in control allows us to just play our offense how we need to play and not try to do too much crazy stuff.
You guys had a lot of success on the ground today. Tyler over 100 yards. You set a career high. How are you guys able to do it, and why was that important?
I really think the O-line did a good job, especially in the run game blocking. So there was just holes opening up, and we were able to hit them. So.
Couldn't help but notice you looked up when Coach Anderson said you like to run the ball.
Huh.
I'm curious if you do like to run the ball. Do you like running in the middle, like you run up the gut, or would you rather scramble on like a broken play?
If I'm being totally honest, I'd rather not run the ball. I'd rather get it to someone else. But if I need to, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna try my best to get what I need. But I'd rather throw it to someone else. It doesn't feel good getting hit.
I was gonna ask that. You got hit a couple times.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as BYU last week, but yeah, I'd rather someone else be getting hit.
Anything else for Cooper?
Thank you.